Good day everyone, and welcome to my next cooking video. And as you can see, we are actually inside today. We are going to be preparing a dish that is near and dear to my heart. It's my grandmother's baked chicken. And reason I decided to do this video is because basically every time I make her chicken, I would post pictures of it on various social media platforms, and without fail, someone would always ask me for the recipe. And it's a lengthy recipe. It takes time to type it out and everything. So I figured, you know what, let's do a video and give you kind of an exact demonstration of how it works. This is something that, as I said, it's near and dear to my heart. I can remember from my earliest childhood days going to my grandmother's on Sunday, and the whole house just smells wonderful. And it's like, oh, Nana's making her baked chicken today. And fortunately, over the years, I've been able to, no one will ever make it like she did, but I like to think that I do a pretty good job. So I'm going to let you see what I've done so far. There's some preliminary steps here. The thing you want to do is you preheat your oven to 425. The first thing I've done is I have an entire stick of butter, which I have cut into squares and spread across the bottom of an aluminum pan. And you will see here, I have 2 large chicken breasts and 4 chicken thighs, which I have already rinsed, dried, and seasoned with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Now, there's going to be some variations here today. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in the pan, and you'll see why here in a minute. You can use whatever pieces of the chicken you like. My grandmother used to use wings and drumsticks as well. I just prefer thighs and breasts. That's just my own personal preference. And let's get this out of the way. I've already pre-chopped up some of the ingredients we're going to need. Now this, I want to make this clear right off the bat. You'll see that I've chopped up some radishes here. This is not part of my grandmother's original recipe. And you'll also see several cloves of garlic, and we may add more down the road, and some chopped Italian parsley, and some olive oil. Now, as far as the radishes go, many of you know I do keto. I've done the keto diet for over 4 years. And the original recipe my grandmother did with the chicken called for red potatoes. Potatoes are not keto friendly, so we've substituted radishes. But if you're gonna, make the authentic version of my grandmother's baked chicken, get yourself several red potatoes and chop them up, similar to the way I did the radishes here, and just substitute that, and you're good to go. So this was kind of a little introduction. I'm going to be editing this video together, and in the next process I'm going to show you how we make, there's going to be a mixture that we make with the parsley and the olive oil and the garlic, and it's going to be a nice green mixture that you're going to pour over the chicken. So we will get to that in the next installment, and we will see you shortly. Okay, and as you can see, we are back. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our food processor, and we're going to take all this parsley along with the garlic, and we're just going to dump it all in there. I am of the opinion that you can never have too much garlic, and depending on how this comes out, we may eventually add some more garlic. And I'm also going to take some olive oil, pour it in there. Okay. You'll have to bear with me here because this is going to be a challenge to try and do this with just one hand. But I think I'm up to the challenge. This is actually a new food processor. We've only used it a few times, so I'm not quite used to it yet. Okay. So let's, oh, it would help if you plug the damn thing in. That makes sense, right? There we go. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's add a little more olive oil in here. Let's crank this bad boy up a little bit. Ooh, okay. Oops. Blooper alert. Okay. That is not nearly, that's way too dry. We need a little more liquid in there. So we'll go with more olive oil. Okay, that looks better. There we go. And by the way, that's our oven telling us that it's preheated. Isn't modern technology wonderful? Okay, so let's remove the blade. Hope that I don't cut myself here in the process. And what we are going to do, if I can get this damn thing loose, hold on, putting the phone down momentarily. Please stand by. One moment, please. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we're going to take this liquid mixture and pour it directly over the chicken. And what is eventually going to happen is that green mixture is going to kind of merge with the melted butter, and it's going to create a delicious juice, almost like a dipping sauce, if you will. Okay, so final step before we put this in the oven, we are going to take the radishes. And again, remember what I said earlier. If you want to do authentic Nana's baked chicken, use red potatoes. Must be red potatoes to make it authentic. And also, too, I just remembered, I actually had somebody ask me one time, when I was giving them the recipe, if they should remove the skin from the chicken. To which I replied, absolutely, hell no. Under penalty of death, you shall never remove the skin from the chicken. And you will see why in a little bit, in about 2.5 hours. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we are going to cover this in foil, and we are going to place it in the oven for an hour. And in an hour's time, we will take it out and we will baste the chicken with the liquid mixture. And that will be the next step in the process. So we will see you then. Okay, we are back, and about an hour has passed since we last spoke. And what I have done is I have taken the chicken out of the oven and removed the foil. And all we're going to do right now, see that butter it's melted on there? We are just going to spread that with our handy little basting brush. Start basting the chicken. And we will do this again in about an hour from now. And then that's when we kind of get into the final phase. Eventually, at the very end, we will actually be turning the broiler on. And you will see why we were going to do that. But for now, we are just simply getting some of that butter and just trying to baste every little nook and cranny of each piece of chicken. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to cover put the foil back on and put the chicken back into the oven, and we will do this again in an hour. And on a little side note, this is Josie. We call her our little Munchkin, and today just happens to be her 2nd birthday. So everybody can wish our little Munchkin a happy birthday. She's actually distracted right now because she thinks I have food for her. But anyway, just wanted to get that in. Oh, there she goes. Anyway, happy birthday, Munchkin. Okay, welcome back again. It has been another hour. As you will see, we're starting to get that nice golden brown color on the chicken. So, as we did before, we're going to do a little basting. Nice and easy. You see the radishes are starting to bake up really nice. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, if you're not a keto person, red potatoes is what the original recipe calls for. Okay, so now we're almost finished. We're going to wrap it back up one more time. And this time, we're just going to put the chicken back in the oven for about 20 more minutes. And that's when we will take it out. We will remove the foil and we will put the broiler on. So we will see you shortly. All right, that was a quick 20 minutes. And now, as you can see, we are about done. So, another quick baste. And now what we are going to do, we are going to turn the broiler on. And what that is going to do is that is going to make the skin really nice and crispy. So we will put this back into the oven without the foil now. We're done with the foil. And we will put the, we will leave it under the broiler for about 10 to 12 minutes, give or take. You want to get a nice crispy golden brown color. So usually about 10 to 12 minutes, and we'll have the finished product at that time. Be right back. And at last we are finished. After 10 minutes under the broiler, there you have it. A little bit more basting. Nice and crispy. And this is why I mentioned earlier that you do not ever want to think about taking the skin off of the chicken, because as you can see, it is just beautifully crispy golden brown. So that should just about wrap things up. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, and just to give you a quick little story, as many of you know, my grandmother passed away back in 2009, and my grandfather passed away about a year and a half later. But I was fortunate enough one time to be able to cook this for him, and I was really nervous because I wanted to live up to my grandmother's expectations, and I was really nervous about it. And when we finished eating dinner, I made it for the whole family, and he looked at me and he said, "Sammy, that tastes just like your grandmother's." And that was the greatest feeling in the world. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, hit me up. Everybody knows where to find me, and we will talk to everybody soon. Take care.